You know, this would be a whole lot easier if that thing stayed still. What is it about camp coffee? I don't know. It just tastes better for some reason. Anyways, welcome to today's video. Today I want to kind of talk to you about how we've been powering our camper for the last 2.5 months out here at Black Lake. Actually, now that I think about it, 3 months out here at Black Lake. I apologize for the wind. The weather isn't exactly cooperating. I was hoping this would be a nice sunny day where I could actually show you the panels in the solar system that we have here really doing something. But alas, it's a cloudy day and it's Labor Day weekend, so it's our last weekend out here hosting. So we're going to make do with what we have. You can hear the generator running in the background. That's because it's been kind of cloudy the last couple of days, and as a result we've been using a fair amount of power. It's been getting cold at night. The furnace has been running. The batteries are depleted. Yesterday, chasing the sun around when it was out for a little while, we made a fair amount of power. The whole day was somewhere around 22-23 amp hour, but that just doesn't keep up with the furnace running at night and the radio, because, well, here in Wisconsin we like our brewers and they were playing, so we listened to it. And a little bit of video editing I did to get these videos ready for upload when we get back home. All of that takes power. Batteries, by best guess, are at 50%, 60%. I don't want to pull them any further than they are, because while they still have a good amount in them, they're getting weak, and frankly, it's going to damage them if I go much further than I am. Next to me here, I've got two 100-watt solar panels. You may notice that they're different sizes. They're also 6 months apart in age. This one right here, the far one from me, I bought about 1.5 years ago, and I actually had my students install it. For those of you that didn't know, I'm a teacher, and one of the projects I had my students do was install that panel and the associated charge controller and all that into my old camper. I bought this one this spring because I knew we were going to be out here hosting, and I was worried that we wouldn't have enough power with just one panel. The panels go through the wire here behind me over to the camper, and over there, I will show you in a minute, is a pair of mismatched batteries and a charge controller and just a generic little $20 battery meter that I bought on Amazon to try and get a better feel for how the batteries are doing. The main reason I bought that gauge is because I can tell it I have 170 amp hour battery capacity, and I'm pretty sure that the batteries actually don't have that much, but I set the meter there based on the published specifications that I could find for the two batteries. And it counts down as I use power, and it counts up as the panels make power, so I always have an idea of where I'm at, or at least how much power I've used. And it's a lot more accurate than basing it off of battery voltage, especially when the battery is always under load. The trailer's connected. The trailer by itself will draw 0.7. That's 0.7 amp hour all day, every day, just being connected. And that's why we were experiencing very, very fast battery depletion when we were camping last year with the original battery, because the camper was drawing half of the battery capacity by itself in 2 days. So let's go take a look at what we have for stuff over here, and before I do show you, I just want to let you know, I know it's wrong, and I'll explain why it's wrong. I'll also show you how or at least tell you how I want to fix it. And everything that we want for it, how to fix this, that we need to get yet, is in a Amazon wish list that is in the description below. So if you want to see what it is I'm going to buy in order to fix the system, everything other than the batteries will be in there. And the only reason the batteries aren't going to be in there is Amazon's battery selection isn't the best, and I can get them locally cheaper, so why would I do that? So let's go take a look at what we've got. Here, I go into this little connection. This is an Anderson power pole connection. It just pulls apart real easy. And the reason I did this is because I don't have a permanently mounted anything. My charge controller, my panels, nothing's permanently mounted. So this makes it really convenient for hooking stuff up, because those MC4 connectors can be kind of hard to work with. I do need to kind of rework this connection, especially in here. You can see that there's some exposed wire, but it's not shorting. There's no issue there, but there's some corrosion. It is fused. I've got a 25 amp fuse in there because I do want to be able to expand the capacity of the system. Following this wired into here, we go to my charge controller. And this is where things get kind of hokey and a little janky. You can see here, I'll flip this around so it's right side up. I've got a Rhenology Voyager 20 amp charge controller. It's just a basic pulse width modulated controller. Nothing overly exciting. We're making 1.2 amp of power right now. All day we've made 6.6 amp hour, and the batteries are sitting at 13.6 volts. Now, that's because the generator's running. And then I've got this other meter that I just added this year, or a couple weeks ago actually. If this number here, where it says negative 3.2 is negative, I know that I'm actually putting power into the batteries. This 170 is the estimated amp hour remaining, and that's full. This thing got reset earlier today because I had it set wrong and the voltage got high enough to where it triggered an automatic reset. From there, we go into this. This is kind of a distribution block. I use it for a couple of different things. Right here, these wires go up to a little 250 watt inverter that I have on top of the propane tanks. And then from there, it's fed by extension cord through the basement of the camper to where my laptop is. That's how I power my computer when we're not actually on generator power. In fact, I can actually unplug this right now because it's not even being used. This runs up to the batteries. Or no, this runs to the controller and the meter. This runs to the batteries. And again, it's fused, so things are protected. Under here is where things get a little janky. Hokey. However you want to call it. Under here, I've got two mismatched batteries. I have this battery back here, which is the Group 24 battery that I have no idea how old it is. It came with the camper when we bought it last year. I suspect it's not super strong, but it's actually been doing fairly well this year. It lasted us maybe a day and a half last year. It's just not up to the way we camp. This one I added late last year, and it began the year on its own. This is a Group 27 that I bought last fall. And the two batteries are parallel together, and you can see where I've got the negative on this one and the positive on that one. So the wiring there is correct. The reason this is wrong is because the two batteries are different sizes and thereby different capacities and different ages. And that means there's different internal resistances, which means that one battery's supplying more power than the other, and they discharge each other, and really it's not the ideal setup. It gives me a temporary larger capacity, but it doesn't hold because they discharge each other. From there, that's what we have. That's how we function inside. So now that the little tour is over, like I said, I know it's wrong, but it's gotten us through the summer, and I've learned a lot from managing this system, even though it isn't right. And I plan on fixing it. I want to add wind so that on days like today where it's cloudy but we've got a breeze, I can take advantage of that. I want to add some flexible solar panels to the roof of the camper Namely, so I don't have to keep pulling these up and down, because when we're not here, I put these two up on the roof of the camper. Just, it's kind of a security by obscurity thing, I guess you could say. I've had an axe walk off this summer, so I really don't want to see a $100 solar panel walk off because I left it on the ground. Unfortunately, even out here at Black Lake, there are sticky fingers. So I put the panels up on the roof just so they're not blatantly obvious. And they do what they need to do up there. Batteries are always fully charged when we get back. But adding wind would help. I want to add a more efficient charge controller. I want to add a better inverter, because as you saw, the inverter that we have up there is a rather old square wave inverter, and it's not good for sensitive electronics, and yet I'm powering my computer up with it. I go back and forth on how big of an inverter I want to get. Part of me says, you know what, let's get a 300, 400, maybe even 600 watt pure sine wave, and that will be more than enough to run my computer, or if it's a somewhat rainy day, my kids can watch a short movie, and I won't need to run the generator. And those pure sine wave inverters are more efficient. And then part of me says, if I'm going to get a new inverter, let's get one big enough that I can make coffee in the morning. And I go back and forth and I ask myself, if I make coffee in the morning, how am I going to put that power back? Well, that's where the wind comes in. That's where the flexible solar panels that are mounted to the roof of the camper come in. Because when I'm not here, these would go inside and the flexible ones would still be on the roof. But having all of those other sources together might allow me to make more use of that and use even less gas, which the Forest Service has been thrilled with how little gas they've had to bring me, because I think I've used 8 gallons all summer. I don't run my generator, except on days like today where the batteries have been run down because we've been here for a week and it hasn't been sunny, or it's 90, 100 degrees and humid and going to storm, and I want to run the air conditioner. Normally we make coffee in the morning using a French press and boiling water in a tea kettle. So I don't need the 1,000 watt inverter to make coffee, it just would be nice, because then I could use the drip pot. You know, your normal everyday coffee maker. Do I need to be able to run my computer? No, but I do like to do a lot of my content editing out here, because I get my inspiration out here, and a lot of times by the time I get home the inspiration's gone, and that's why we've been inconsistent with uploading videos. This video and the one that is on the channel having to showing how to hosting duties with cleaning bathrooms were edited on site and then uploaded when we got home. And the only reason they weren't uploaded here is because while I do have some internet through the use of my Verizon Jetpack, it doesn't have the power to keep up. But I digress. This is supposed to be about power. I'm open to suggestion. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything. I've been learning as I go, and that's how I learn. I take what I have and I make it work, and then I fix it as I acquire what I need to fix it. So again, I've got the Amazon wish list down below in the description. Feel free to check it out. If you're feeling particularly generous and you want to buy me a small part to help you along my way, I would be grateful. But don't feel like you need to. I'll get these parts on my own. It's just going to take me a little time. So until our next destination, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you down the road. Bye.